Welcome friends to the Beaver Dam. I am honestly loving Ezra, and I want to make a video talking a bit about this because I feel like there's a ton to this character, and like a lot of people were expecting this to be, you know, oh, this is the lifter to Ahsoka. That's all it is. It's just the lifter to Ahsoka. But I feel like we're in a very interesting place with this character, and it feels more like a Commander Ahsoka Tano, where yes, if you have Ahsoka, obviously throw him with your Ahsoka Tano. But then, like, if you don't have an Ahsoka Tano, there are still millions of ways to use this character, and I've been really impressed during testing and like going through with just how hard this character hits and how much he does for teams. And I think there's a lot that we can do. Obviously, all of my testing was primarily with Rey and JML. That's kind of the two homes that people have boxed him into right now, and I think that's unfair to box him into those two spots. Yes, with JML, he basically makes every single counter except for Leia feasible. Like, it works really well. And I think with the Omicrons, we're going to see a very different Ezra, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But you know, enjoy this footage of us testing him out yesterday. It was very entertaining to try him out. Like, dude, he on a JML team, I loved doing JML with him because, you know, he hits his exile where he exiles an enemy. He gets the 50 stacks of Purgle migration, and then you just keep calling him to assist, and it feels almost like the Plo Koon or Datacron that's going on right now, because you call him to assist and he hits hard, and then every time he uses an ability, he calls someone to assist. And so you get 2 attacks for every Padawan lesson or whatever the JML ability is. Every time you use that, it just calls him to assist and another person. You might get lucky and get him and Jedi Knight Luke. Like, it hits like a freight train. I'm actually loving this combo. But then again, I feel like it's a little too much, especially with JKCK in the game. I think we're going to see a split with the JMLs. I think we're going to see JML and Jedi Knight Revan as 2 separate teams, and we'll see Jedi Knight Revan probably take Jedi Knight Luke and Ezra, and then we'll see JML take JKCK and a couple other characters. And I think we're gonna have a split like that, because just looking at what he can do with Jedi Knight Revan is actually wild to me. So you take a look at his Omicrons specifically for Kanan's Legacy, and Kanan's Legacy, the Omicron makes it so that way you hit 25 stacks of Purgle Swarm the moment that you hit that ability, which is super nice, because every time you use an ability with this character, you're already getting 5 stacks of Purgle migration, and so you're gonna get 30 stacks of Purgle migration by using that ability on his first turn. Now, if you have him fast, which he has a very high base speed, have him faster than your Jedi Knight Revan, you can use this ability, Kanan's Legacy, to pass a turn over to Jedi Knight Revan. Jedi Knight Revan can pass a turn back to him, and then he's already at 30 stacks. If he hits his second special, Daring Advance, he deals damage 3 times, and if he critically hits on all 3 of those hits, which he does have a very high critical chance, and his mastery is critical chance as well as crit damage, deflection, and dodge, which is absolutely wild, you're gonna end up with 15 stacks of Purgle migration, plus he used an ability, which means that's another 5 stacks. You just hit 50 stacks of Purgle migration in the first 3 turns of the game. And so I think this is going to shut down a lot of teams. I think this is going to make a new off-meta counter to Jabba. Right here, we're showing off some gameplay of me fighting Jabba with JML, and you can see that once we get isolate or exile onto Bosch Leia, the whole thing falls apart. Like, it's literally Bosch Leia no longer assists, they don't deal any damage, and we just kind of sit there at a standstill and I kill people at my leisure. Now think of that with Jedi Knight Revan, with Jedi Knight Luke and Ezra. You're sitting there and, you know, you have Jabba take his first turn, you get a couple assists from Bosch Leia, and you're like, ouch. Anyways, Ezra takes a turn, passes to Jedi Knight Revan passes it back to Ezra Bridger, he hits the crit, instantly gets a bonus turn, throws exile onto Bosch Leia, and within the first turn, Bosch Leia can no longer attack out of turn and doesn't do anything for her team anymore, which is absolutely wild. It shuts down the Jabba team so fast, and then at that point you can work on your leisure on the enemies. I'm just a little worried about the damage potential overall in that scenario, specifically with Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, and Ezra, just because you know, there's a lot of beefiness to go through in a Jabba team, but I think there's a definite cool potential to that. Also, here's the footage with Rey. It boosts Rey. We've tried it with a couple different lineups, just whatever lineup you happen to have, it boosts Rey. I've done a JMK battle, you'll probably see it in here. Done a JMK battle where I essentially got full banners. It makes it so that way you can go up against Lord Vader with basically no problems. You can go up against really anything with no problems. And like, if it shuts down Starkiller on defense, I think that'll be one of the biggest things for a lot of people who don't have Ahsoka Tano. It's just throwing it with Rey and making it much harder to counter a Rey. Not only is the exile super nice, the passing around turns with Kanan's Legacy is super great, and he deals a ton of damage. He heals really well. He's also tanks. He gets resilient defense, so he does tank hits. Overall, I'm loving him with Rey, and I think that if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this character, I'm just about to unlock him, you have a home for him, I promise. You have some Jedi, you have a home for him. You have Rey, you have a home for him. Whether you're a Lightspeed bundle player, an endgame player, you're gonna have a home for Ezra. Like, he's such a solid character, and especially with the Jedi Knight Revan with that Omicron on Kanan's Legacy, I think you were going to see an insane team come around, and I think we're gonna see some more Jedi splits, like, you know, kind of like how right now we're getting a lot of Jedi splits with the Plo Koon Kron and the Eth Kothkron. I think we're going to be able to split up our Jedi a bit more from here on out, just because of how much JKCK lifts up JML and how much Jedi Knight Revan and Ezra work well together. So I'm very excited to see what people pull off. If you have any cool things that you pull off in Grand Arena, please DM me on Discord. I'd love to see your footage, and I might make a video of all the things that people counter in like the first week that he's out. So if you have the Omicrons, and you know, or at least the Kanan's Legacy Omicron, you have a Jedi Knight Revan, you pull something off cool, please reach out to me, DM me. I want to see it. I have a Google Drive specifically for this reason, to be able to let you guys send me videos, so that way we can get it out to the public and everyone can see how cool these characters are. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this encourages you to get your Ezra up to relic level, or, you know, maybe gives you something to look forward to in the next couple of conquests to push hard for. If you're close to that Ezra, hey, this is a solid place to be. You know, get close to that Ezra and push it, because it doesn't matter that you're not getting Ahsoka Tano in the next 3 to 5 business years. You're still going to have an insane team regardless. You're going to be able to get full banners on so many different teams that are really good. So hopefully this helps, and I will see you guys in the next video.